Good morning. This is day 7 of week 8 of Urban-Agoge. So I didn't really get a lot of time this morning, although I'm out here recording this. So yeah, this may or may not be uploaded by the time you get this, so I'll try and keep it as short as possible to get the rendering times down. Whoop. So, although I've completed all the army stuff this week, my weight has remained at 94 kilos. Now, I'm not judging everything purely by weight, because obviously I'm laying on muscle, and yeah, there's a certain amount of changes to the distribution of fat in my body, in that my gut's getting a lot smaller, and that's narrowing out. This week I didn't have a lot of energy. Part of that's to do with work, but I think some of it's to do with my diet, and I was wondering what I was going to talk about. So I didn't get to do a run this morning. Could have done, just didn't manage to lever myself out of bed until about 8:30, which is not good. Part of that's down to working till nearly 11 last night, when I normally finish at about 10. So that wasn't good. And I think part of it is down to my diet, which is the thing I wanted to talk about this morning. Get down these steps. Yeah. So yeah. So essentially, when I was out shopping, I bought some white bread. If you don't live in the UK, you probably don't know what tiger bread is. I don't know where it's from or what the idea of it is, but it's this really tasty white bread. And white bread just isn't any good for you. So I That's a tricky bit. Yeah, so white bread isn't any good for you because it's just empty carbs, and I think that's been my problem this week. I spent 7 weeks eating pretty healthily, and lots more bananas and fruit and stuff like that, and then this week I ate a lot of white bread. And I think if you're full of all these empty calories, and the river's really high again today, I think the problem with eating a shed load of empty calories is that, I don't think it gives you energy. I think it keeps you alive and makes you feel full, but like a lot of other processed food, I think it slows you up. I think that, they definitely add sugar to that bread. I haven't been eating particularly well, and this is where it all comes to pass, kind of thing. This is the problem of our modern society and the way we do our most basic things. We sleep badly, we don't exercise our brains, we don't stretch ourselves, because we're literally going through lives just trying to get through life. And those are the things that reduce our capabilities as feral humans. So although I failed, not been up here, this looks very Jurassic with the giant dock leaves and stuff. So although this week I kind of failed, I only see true failure as when you don't learn anything. So I definitely think I've learned a thing or two this week about diet, and I think if you continue to muck about with the nutrients that your body wants or thinks it wants, and you give in to just like a basic primal urge to get those calories, the things that will keep you alive, and you don't do a correspondingly good job. Ooh, this does not want me to be here. And you don't do a correspondingly good job with the vitamins and stuff, I think you do become sluggish, especially in an environment where, you know, all you need is the calories really, and you can just about carry on functioning. There's no real downside. You're not going to be too weak to hunt. Well, that should give you an indication of how heavily it's been raining. The river's moving much faster today. So yeah, so it's also made me sluggish in sort of doing all the other stuff, like keeping my place tidy and getting all, you know, basically getting my crap together more. And I just noticed that this week I didn't do any journaling, and although you haven't seen that, so come back here. Yeah, although you haven't seen me doing any journaling, and I do need to do a video on it, because it puts a lot of things in perspective. But yeah, I felt like everything's gone by the wayside, and I just about had enough energy to do the minimum that was required of me for the army fitness stuff, which ain't good. You know, the whole point of this is the fact that you're pushing yourself and you're increasing your abilities as a human. You know, the ability to get up in the morning and do exercise and, you know, regulate your diet so you're getting all the nutrients you need and you're full of energy, and that I have been for the previous 7 weeks. And then there have been a few instances where I've fallen off the wagon, but, you know, those habits of food have been, you know, nearly 50 years in the making. You know, nobody's going to undo that. You know, if you're doing this at some future time, or you're doing it right now at the same sort of time as I'm recording this, you know, you'll have days where, or weeks even, where you're just trying to pull yourself together. But I've definitely come to the conclusion that certain foods are not good human maintenance foods. You know, so yeah, we've got to get out of that binge mentality. Got to avoid the traps, all, you know, basically all the things that are presented to us in a way that let's go wandering back. I'll just wrap this up. So yeah, so diet is pretty much everything. You know, if you don't feed yourself right, you won't be motivated. You know, you're not looking after that system that supports you and allows you to do what you do. And if you want to do more than the normal sort of survive your job, live till you're 65, do 2 years of retirement and then drop dead, your company's gold watch still in your hand, you know, if you want to do that, then yeah, eat the pizza, microwave the pie, eat the white bread, drink the soda. You know, if you want to do all that, if that's all you want from life, and it seems a pretty, you know, piss poor sort of existence, if you want to do that, then yeah, life's pretty much set up for you. But I think we're all capable of a hell of a lot more. The problem with that is, and the reason I don't think anybody ever wants to fix it for the world's population, except maybe the more progressive countries, but the problem with all that is that I think human beings are only getting about 30%. I think we're on a restricted diet of life. I think it is very the Matrix. You are a battery, you are fuel for a corporation, you're a consumer, you're a productive member of society. And yeah, anybody that shows the least amount of creativity is going to get farmed by those corporations. I mean, things are changing. I think the model for what constitutes a human is going to have to radically change, and I think there are a few businesses that want to be fairer to people that produce. I mean, I'd say Patreon is one of them, even though it's still a corporation, but at least it's a corporation with a different mission. All it's got to do really is hang in there and act as a banking system for people that create and the people that want to support them. And I'd like to thank Amanda Palmer. If you haven't read it yet, her book, The Art of Asking, is a must read for anybody that's a creator. Go get it. It's annoyingly, it's not very expensive. You could probably pick up a copy for about £3, $5, and if you at all do anything creative, then it will change your life. It's changed mine. It's one of the springboards to doing this. So yeah. Yeah, we need to rebel against those corporations. We need to try other stuff. So I need to get back onto the kind of diet where I'm going to be able to, do the things that I want to do. I've got to put in the 4-star fuel or the high octane fuel if I'm going to live a higher octane life. And that's going to mean, following that simple guideline: eat less processed crap. And that's what I did this week. I mean, the mental aspect can't be, understated. I still got out. I still did 2 runs last week. I still did the circuit training. I still made a video every day. But it was more effort. It was harder. And like this morning, where I just could not bring myself, and Friday, where I just couldn't bring myself to do what I'd set out to do. Who's in charge here? That's what you got to ask yourself. What did you want to do? What did you end up doing? Did you end up doing something better than what you wanted to do, or did you end up doing something that didn't quite register as well for you? Are you disappointed in how your day went? That's not always down to will. Sometimes you just not got enough energy to do that. So, yeah, not good. So, it's a new week next week. It's week 9, which would be week 7, part of phase 2 of the Army Fitness Programme. I don't think Urban Agoge is going to end at the end of the Army Fitness Programme, but hey, we've still got another 16 minus 7, still got another 9 weeks to go, so well over 2 months. Got some adventures and some bonus videos planned. But yeah. And I want to do a late unboxing of the camera and the gimbal, which I should be hopefully picking up tomorrow. So yeah, lots of bits to do, including that bloody trailer, which, I think this is to me this is a clear case of, you're able to do what you're able to do as a result of the fuel you put in and the will you have. I didn't back out of anything that I'd written down for myself, but I backed out of something this morning that maybe a couple of weeks ago I wouldn't have done, and I didn't. Last week I did a run round the block to see if I could beat my time, and I was up for it. I mean, I wasn't up for it immediately, but as soon as I was out the door I was up for it. So yeah, complicated. So yes, that means I'm recording this late, so hopefully I'll be able to get it up to you today, or at least get the upload started. It's nice to get a video out every day. Thank you so much to everybody that's watching. I think we're on about 780 views in the 8 weeks. Probably something like 7.5 thousand or 7,500 minutes of view time. And still on those 21 subscribers, one of which is me. So, in conclusion, thanks for watching and do take care. Sorry, I got interrupted there. I didn't want to film people unwillingly or walk around with a selfie stick talking to myself, but I just had a thought. In that, is bread, I don't mean bread in any kind of like mystical sense, I don't mean it, you know, in the bread and circuses kind of way, but is bread designed to sap the will of the majority of the people? You know, like we eat a lot of bread, you know, as a species. Bread is like, you know, incredibly handy and, you know, portable and storable carbohydrate that's good to eat. But does it in general, you know, take out your ability to be creative, to your ability to think, your ability to act? You know, does just having all that carbohydrate slow you down mentally and physically? You know, reducing muscle tone and stuff like that, making you less of a threat? You know, is bread a means of, you know, like a 10,000-year-old means of repression if you eat too much of it? If you eat a lot of bread because you're really poor, if you were, you know, and does it, you know, stop you from rebelling against the powers that be purely because you're chowing down on so much processed food, which is, bread is like a very primitive kind of processed food. You know, sure, you get the calories, sure, your belly's full, the bellies of your children are full, but is it a tool of repression? Ah, there you go. There's a conspiracy for you. Let's go for some really old ones. You know, if people ate a more energy-packed diet that actually gave them more energy and they were able to do stuff and think and things like that, would they tolerate, you know, a caste-based or a status-based society? You know, it's like if you can provide for yourself, you don't really tolerate being told what to do. You know, and then when meat became more plentiful and it's been factory farmed and it's now full of antibiotics and stuff like that, is processed food the new means of dietary repression? Keeps people slow, struggling, unable to formulate intelligent ideas. Does it affect our intelligence? Does it make us more easily biddable? I don't know, it just occurred to me. So, next week, a lot less bread. But yeah, so I'll chop this together with the earlier bit. It just occurred to me as I was walking up the hill. But thanks for watching, and do take care. See you tomorrow, when they'll be running, I promise.